Yo, what is going on YouTube? Skateboard here comes guys with another video. So I'm kind of gonna do a new series for you guys just because the last event for AEW is coming up soon. It's in a couple weeks, like I've said in my previous videos, but I kind of want to make a series about every roster, just talk about them and see how basically just talk about my thoughts on their new rosters and see what they're gonna do for Worlds. So we're gonna go a roster at a time, so one roster per episode, so basically one team per episode, all the way up until Worlds. So I don't really have to do a prediction video, just because like I'm already gonna talk about what I think they're gonna be like in the last event. So I won't do a prediction video like I usually do. I'll just do this series and talk about every roster and just upload um, upload like maybe one a day. Like if I have another video idea, I'll double upload it with episode of this. So just look forward because there's like 12 teams that I have to talk about. So there's 12 episodes, so one every day for 12 days. That by the time I'm done with the series, it'll be time for the event. Basically, like almost, it'll be like a few days away or a few days before the event starts when I'm done with this. So this is episode 1, and the first roster I kind of want to talk about, which I'm kind of excited to talk about, to be honest. Like, this is one of my favorite rosters, and I've been wanting to talk about it for a while. But the roster that I want to talk about first is nonetheless of Epsilon, because they kind of made a huge run through season play playoffs that no one expected. Like, no one expected them to get top 3 at season 3 playoffs. Everyone expected them to either barely make it out of relegated or to get bottom 4. Like, I don't know a single person who predicted Epsilon top 3. That it just no one had it. No one had them finishing top 3. And as you guys know, you saw my roster main videos, and they made a roster change, even though they did well. They dropped Royalty for Aqua, and Aqua used to be on Envy, and that was an interesting move because Royalty actually did really incredibly well at season 3 playoffs. So it was kind of weird for them to drop him, but nonetheless, I think they got more of a consistent player than Royalty because Royalty plays on a really, really, really high sensitivity. He plays on like a 12 or a 13 when everyone plays on like a 3 or a 4. So it was kind of crazy that he played on that high of a sensitivity, but like he was good at that sensitivity. But I think the reason why they dropped him is because with a sensitivity like that, you can be really inconsistent, and teams don't want inconsistency. They want a player to be consistent that they know will do their job right and play well at LAN every event. Because, yeah, you already know that no team wants an inconsistent player. Like, they want someone to perform well every event. But nonetheless, I think they got that with Aqua. And if you guys didn't know, they had Team Revenge was a squad back in the day, around college champs times. They had Nagafin, Remy, Facento, and Aqua, and they placed second at college champs, and no one expected that. So they have 3 out of the 4 players that were on that TR squad, the Team Revenge squad, are on Epsilon right now. So they have Aqua, Remy, and Nagafin, and then basically Parasite is filling in the rules of Facento. He's like, because back in the TR days, Facento was like the leader of the team. He was the vocal leader. He's the one that got hyped for Nagafin, Remy, and Aqua, and yeah. So basically, Parasite's taking that role, and I honestly think Parasite's gonna do a 10 times better job than Facento. I have nothing wrong with Facento. I think he's a great player, but like, he's not as much of a leader as Parasite. Parasite's been around for a long time, so I think he'll really coach these new players, kind of, because they kind of broke out this year. I think he'll coach these new players in the right direction and be more of a leader than Facento was. And I honestly think this squad will do really well, like really well. um, I honestly see them upsetting quite a few teams that you wouldn't expect them to upset. Like, I'll get into like Elevate and Denial later because I'm gonna make an episode about every roster, but like I could see them maybe even pulling off an upset against those teams. Like, those teams arguably got better from their run. Well, that's debatable actually. But Elevate 100% got better after their roster change that they made. But But Denial is kind of like a debate. But um, nonetheless, Epsilon got better with their roster change, in my opinion. And I think they can upset a team like Denial. Or maybe even they can upset FaZe again like they did at playoffs. Or like they just... Epsilon's roster got better, and if they can upset teams like Elevate and Denial and FaZe and almost upset Optic at Season 3 playoffs, then with this roster, the new roster that they have, they can make it farther. If they had Aqua instead of Royalty at Season 3 playoffs, they would be Optic. Like, they were one lap away from taking beating Optic 4-0 into best of 7, and they choked. Like, that's... If they had Aqua, I think they would have 4-0'd them, to be honest with you. Like, I'm an Optic fan, but I will admit, when my team is playing like crap, and Optic was not playing their best. So, Epsilon could have easily 4-0'd them, but they choked. And if they had Aqua, they would have done it. Like, 100%. So, I think with the addition of Aqua and having 3/4 of the Team Revenge squad that got second at Champs, and having Parasite as their new leader, so-called, they'll do really, really well. I think Parasite's really comfortable with this roster, and I think that showed at Season 3 playoffs because, like I said, they upset a lot of teams, and I think Parasite's had a huge issue with comfortability this year because he hasn't really had the year that I expected him to. Like, I know everyone kind of hates on Parasite, and he's active on Twitter, like, he's kind of like an Aches, but not quite as bad. Like, Aches says what is on his mind, and it upsets a lot of people, but, like, Parasite's that kind of way. He'll say something on his mind, and he doesn't care what other people think, but he's not as bad as Aches, if that makes sense. So, I think, but nonetheless, I think Parasite is finally comfortable with the roster this year, and it kind of sucks that he found a roster that he's comfortable with for the last event. I wish he could have found a roster like a long time ago for AW like this, but I'm glad he finally found a roster that he's comfortable with. But I think they'll do really well at Worlds. So like, I see them upsetting a lot of teams like they did last event, and I'm honestly having them place probably top 4. I think they'll upset Denial for the top 4 spot, because right now, people for Worlds are like predicting that Optic and FaZe and Elevate are gonna get and Denial are gonna get top 4. But I honestly think Epsilon is gonna take Denial's spot and maybe even place like 4th or 3rd. And then if they can upset FaZe, maybe even they win 2nd. I don't know. But we'll have to see what happens at the event. But hopefully Epsilon can do really well like they did last event, because that would be super sick. And yeah, that'd be so dope. But yeah, that's basically it on Epsilon. I mean, if you guys like this series, let me know. I just love to talk about Call of Duty and events. I'm a huge competitive fan, and you guys know that since by the content I've been uploading lately has been all about competitive and like where it's going and like all this stuff. So hopefully you guys like me talking about competitive, because I want to get you guys involved with competitive. If you guys aren't, I want you to check it out, because that's what I'm basically going to be uploading on my channel is competitive talk. And then when I upload a commentary, a live commentary, it's probably most likely what I'm going to talk about, and just get used to the competitive standpoint, because I'm a competitive player and it's my passion. So hopefully you guys like this series. But that was Epsilon for you. Hopefully, like I said, I think they can upset a lot of teams. Hopefully they'll place top 3 like they did last event, because I'm a huge fan of all of those players. I love Aqua, I love Nagafane, I love Remy. I am a huge fan of Parasite. As much as people give him crap, I'm a huge fan of Parasite. I think he's a really good player and a really good leader, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think my next video I'm going to be talking about Denial, because Denial is kind of an interesting roster to talk about. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, and Denial is the next episode. And Denial is the next episode. So peace out, my homies.